Welcome to the 8th episode of Live Life with Leena. And this is just an initiative to help everyone living the best life, as I am committed to live my best life by taking inspiration with all the leaders across, the most successful entrepreneurs, learning from them some of the best way how they balance their energy. So today we have got an amazing guest whom I actually manifested today. I realized when I was giving this manifestation training that 7 years back I actually attended a training in their office and I could see this female, such most energetic female, creating an environment filled with energy, and she was so much into seeing the light, seeing the sound, being there with the team, and I just couldn't take my eyes off. Let me tell you, I was not able to concentrate on the training, but I was completely concentrating how this female is able to set up so many things so beautifully. And today I literally manifested her on my training. When I saw her around, it will not be 7 years, it would be 5 years back if I'm not wrong. In 2016, in 2016, I attended a training where I could view my guest. So we have another 1 minute and we are going to invite the guest for today. So before she joins in, let me introduce her to all of you. She is an amazing personality from an event management industry in Bangalore. And I have to say so much about her. You could see the papers which I have, the list of questions which I have written down, and there's so much of R&D which I have done about her. Okay, so I have got Bhakti Sanghvi already here. So let me accept the request. Okay, any moment we will have our amazing personality for today. Get ready to energize yourself. Hi Bhakti, how are you?
Hi, Leena. I'm doing great. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm fabulous. I was just telling everyone that I literally manifested you today in my program. I saw you first time 5 years back, and today that manifestation has come true. So thank you everyone who are joining here. People who don't know Bhakti, let me introduce you Bhakti to everyone. There's a lot of achievement which I have to talk about this incredible personality. So Bhakti Sanghvi is our guest for today. It's my honor and pleasure to invite you, Bhakti, to my show, Live Life with Leena. So
thank you, Leena. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you, Bhakti. Thank you so much for accepting the invite in your busy schedule and being available for me. Thank you so much. You're such a sweetheart. So I just can't start the session without introducing about you, because so many people who are joining us, they really want to know about your background. So Bhakti Sanghvi is a guest for today, and she is from an event management industry based out in Bangalore. And she has been in the event management industry since 2007. So it's almost 13 years now. Wow. And 13 plus. Yeah. So she has co-founded and built the Dream Craft. So she has crafted her dreams, and now she is helping to craft the dreams of so many event management teams there. And she's a leading brand in corporate event management space in India, and also in the first event management company to have a franchisee model to help newer event managers to start up and scale up rapidly. Oh, wow. Bhakti also owns the Kannada Film Stars, which competes in the Celebrity Badminton League. A badminton league aired on local TV channels where the Kannada, Tamil, Telugu and Malayalam film stars compete every year. Wow, this I wasn't aware of, Bhakti. Her team, Karnataka Warriors, are the ring champions from season 2. Wow. Bhakti is also the founder and chief creator at Viva Signature Weddings, a niche wedding planning company. She is known to design and execute impeccable theme-based weddings and has done so far close for a decade. Bhakti also has curated the Heroes Award to celebrate and recognize the contribution of citizens of Bangalore, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Delhi, and Mumbai from various walks of life who have excelled in their work or made a difference to the city. Oh my God, so much of achievement. You are such incredible personality. Thank you so much, guys, who all have joined us. She is Bhakti Sangvi from a event management industry. Any questions you have which you want to ask Bhakti, feel free to comment it, and I'm going to read out your questions to Bhakti to answer it. So start drilling it out. We have to drill all the wisdom from her, 13 years of wisdom which is accumulated, and today is the time to just take it out. So Bhakti, over to you. I just can't wait to hear how did you crafted your dream and came out the dream craft story. Please let us know how did it all started 13 years back.
So yeah, so firstly, thank you so much for inviting me for your chat show. It's an absolute pleasure to be here, Lena. Thank you so much for that, and thank you everybody for joining us for this live. Absolutely thrilled and excited to see all of you here. So thank you so much for being here, guys. And so Lena, your question about how did it all start? Like you said, 2007 is when I started my event journey, and I started right after my college. And at that point in time, I had absolute no knowledge about events. So I used to do any and every kind of events at that point in time. I remember my very first event, which I had got from a company called Oracle, and we had to put up balloons in their office. Okay, and I was so immature. I was so naive. I didn't know that I could even hire a balloon vendor and get the balloons put up, or I didn't even know that you get a machine to blow the balloons and actually put up the balloons. I didn't know any of that. What I did was I gathered all my friends and I made them literally blow up to more than 1,000 balloons and put them in the entire Oracle office. So that's how my journey in the space of event management began. And with time is when I learned by doing so many events and realized what is my niche, what is it that I really good at in curating and crafting. So that's how we moved from doing any and every event to as corporate events business. So that's how the entire journey of event management of 13 years in a crux. But one thing which I would love to share is, for me, Dreamcraft has been very special because I remember, in 2012, when I got married, it was my, dream to gift my wedding to my parents. And it was, the business of Dreamcraft that actually helped me in, accumulating that funds or earning that money so that I could fund my own wedding. So for me, Dreamcraft has always been there, when there have been challenges, when there have been great times like this, but it has always been there to support me in every way. So I think I'm super grateful to the events business that has been able, like the word Dreamcraft, which has been it's been able to craft my dreams as well. So that's the journey of Dreamcraft.
Wow, it's so amazing. You are a perfect example of nobody is perfect. I mean, if people who are watching here and such an incredible personality is telling us that everything started wherein she wasn't even aware that is a balloon, you can actually inflate the balloon with a machine. So it's so authentic you are, Bhakti, and so honest. I just love your purity. So it's just, you are a true example of progress over perfection. And we don't need to be perfect. It's just that the progress matters. So
Absolutely.
wonderful. It's so good. Now, I remember you, I watched you around in 2016 when I was attending a training of your husband Rajiv Talreja, and my concentration was rather than being on the stage, though he is very dynamic and I literally have a crush on him. So, though my concentration had to be on the training, but you know, my complete concentration was going on you when he announced your name. And from that moment onwards, I was keeping an angle on you to watch your actions. What exactly are you doing? And I could see, I mean, you were all around. You were seeing the sound, you were there at the DJ counter, you were actually watching over the lights. Oh my God, I literally feel I wish I could just have a talk with this female once. And that's what I say, that I have manifested you today. 5 years back, I just had that thought, and that thought has
Wow.
become true today. So thank
Yeah,
you so
wonderful.
much. I remember the time when I visited your office, and I could again see that environment, that dynamic environment, all vibrant people, and all dancing to the same tune. I mean, I could feel the same level of energy, the same level of
Mhm.
positivity, and each and every pictures crafted in your wall, the plants which are kept there is so beautifully designed. How do you manage to keep such a high level of energy even in your office and each and every team member?
So I think, very honestly, I think the way I would see this as in my life, very early in my life, I was introduced to the world of energy. You know, I've learned pranic healing from Master Chuakok Sui in, I think, when I was 18 or 19 years of age or
Can you
something.
repeat the name?
Master Choa. So he's
Master
the
Choi.
founder of Pranic Healing. So it's Master Choa Koksui, but if you type Master Choa online, you'll get a lot of his work. So he's the founder of the Pranic Healing Foundation. So for me, I think what I learned from my teachers, what my mentors, I think that's honestly that keeps my energy high, or keeps me going, is what I would say, because I really feel what they have taught, or the lessons that they have taught, are really the guiding force of my life, is what I would say. So, like I spoke about Master Chua, I was introduced to the world of energy very early in my life. Then my mentor Sidra Jafri, she's my spiritual mentor, and she helped me unlock a lot of my energy locks, and that's so much that I've learned from her about the world of energy and about the world of universe. And for me, everything, I'm sure you would have seen in my events as well. For me, everything is energy, and everything, around energy is what is I relate to and resonate with. So that's how I think my teachers Sidra Jafri and Master has helped me shape my life. I would say a lot of other teachers, like say Mac Newton, when it comes to my fitness, I love working out. So he's 72 years old, and you see he has a six pack, and he's super strong, being 72. All of us know you know Blair Singer, so he's been an amazing teacher, for me. So I think it is the lessons of these teachers and masters that really help me shape my life and keep my energy, is what I would say. Of course, all of us have no highs and lows. I definitely have my highs and lows as well,
Wow.
and that keeps me going.
Awesome. Bhakti, we are getting so many people joining us here. And I'm so happy to see my mentor, Pooja Puneet here. I'm actually certified under Pooja. Pooja, thank you so much for being here. And it's only, I would say, that I connected to Rajiv. I went for the training there. And through Rajiv, I connected to Pooja. And 2020 was a complete transformational journey for me. It's like
Wow.
the environment which I got connected with Success Gyan, with Rajiv, with Pooja. It's completely, I could say, every day my life has been super miraculous. So
Wow.
I could see
Amazing.
Pooja here. I could see Madhu. Thank you so much,
Hi,
Parinda,
Madhu.
everyone. So thank you so much for joining here. Of course, when Bhakti is here, so many people are pouring in. So thank you, Bhakti, for your presence. Okay,
Oh,
so now
it's
moving
our
on, I
pleasure.
have so many questions written down for
Wow,
you.
oh my goodness.
So
Okay. I'm nervous. I'm always nervous.
okay, so when you actually discover your passion, you start living your life every day with certain having a purpose in life. Well,
Mhm.
so discovering your purpose also tells us that you are also facing things what you don't want. So there would be a turbulent which always comes in every entrepreneur's life. I
Yeah.
really want to learn from you. How did you make this lockdown a blessing in disguise?
Oh, I should tell you. I think that, like you said, I think the pandemic and the lockdown has been a blessing in disguise for us. I think we know that event management has been one of the worst hit industries, because of the pandemic. Like the travel business and the other few businesses as well. So I think even though the event management industry has been in a very difficult, has been very difficult times, and even today we are not able to do large format events or even live events for that matter. But honestly, I think my biggest pride, I would say, is my team. And we got our team together very early, of the lockdown, and we told everybody that, hey, look, we are not going to fire anybody. We won't fire anyone just because we want to save costs and cut costs and stuff like that. So we were very clear to them that no matter what, we will see, through this together. So I think that really also gave a lot of confidence, to the team that, hey, look, we will, whatever happens, we are going to be in this together. And that also got them to start, start researching a lot about what can we do. So if not live events, what can we do to bring the same experience to people, so that so that we can give them that experience even without a live event happening. And that's how we came up with the entire, so there's something called a virtual concept, virtual events technology. So we came up with that entire idea of how to do virtual events, online. And I think that's been our absolute biggest blessing, that we were able to, get hold of the technology to create new stuff, keeping the technology in mind. And today, most of our events are online. So I think that's our big blessing. And I think also the second thing which the pandemic has brought in as a blessing is that, as an event management company, I think about 2 years ago, we had decided that we don't want to depend only on corporate events. So that really got us, thinking as to, okay, how can we do something where we are still not depending on corporate events, and we're still creating events and, impacting people's lives. And that's how we came up with, doing our own intellectual property event, which is our own concept events as Dreamcraft. So doing that 2 years ago, actually, today, because of the pandemic, we've taken all those events online as well. So that's also kept us going. So honestly, I think I can say, as an event manager, being an event manager and being in this space, even though the industry is hit so bad, I think honestly we're in a very, very blessed space because of, what we've done based on our technology. And of course, I think, as I said, my team, my tribe, they've done a fab job with the entire virtual events technology, and of course the IP events. So yes,
Awesome,
pandemic has been a
awesome.
blessing in disguise.
Fantastic. I mean, it's all the creativity which shows up. Any
Yeah, and
situation which comes.
of course, we've had our highs, had our lows, even during the pandemic. No two ways about it. I remember I broke down in the month of August to my team members, to the entire team, saying, "Hey, look, we really need to, create something, get something more faster. Otherwise, I think we will be on the verge of shutting down." That was where our situation was as an event company. So I think the team came out very, very well, and yeah, today we are here and doing some great work, and happy about what we are doing.
Fantastic. So much to learn from you. Well, there are so many women entrepreneurs, especially, who might be on the verge of starting the business. or they have just started in this year 2020. I mean, if you ask me, I have taken my training business to the level which I wanted to was in 2020. So it has really come out as a blessing, and I feel your presence on my show, I'm totally blessed. So so I really want to learn from you, Bhakti. What is the advice you are going to give, especially to women entrepreneurs who are on the verge of either starting up the business or they have just started? How to face the uncertainties? You know, there is so much in our mind now that anything can happen. Like, there's so much of uncertainties around. So what is the advice which you are going to give all the entrepreneurs?
So that's one thing that I would love to say. I think we are for no reason. I really feel that we are cursing 2020, and I honestly feel that there'll always be uncertainties. There'll always be highs and lows. There'll always be ups and downs. I think as an entrepreneur, I think any woman entrepreneur or any entrepreneur should be okay with the ups and downs. There will be highs, there will be lows. All you got to do is just keep taking action towards your goal, towards what you want to achieve in your business. And to everyone who wants to start a business or is on the verge of starting a business, I would honestly say that probably start a business which resonates around your values. I think that's what I live around. Like, for me, my values is everything. So whatever decision that I make, maybe say in my business or in my life, it is around my values. So do something that resonates with your values, not something which you probably love doing, because what you love doing may not add value to people. So also look at doing something which adds value to people, which resonates with your values, and also do something where it's a fair exchange, where you are giving out you're giving value, and in return, of course, you're remunerated for it or rewarded for it in some way or the other. So I think do something which adds value to people, and do something which solves a problem, and don't do something just because you love doing it. Do something which solves a problem, and do something which resonates with you as a person, with your values. I think that's what I would say.
Wow, such a key takeaway. I mean, most of the people, we say that whatever you love to do, you do that. But here you told understand your value, what you value the most, and then start giving out value to the world, what the world needs today. So that's such a key takeaway. Thank you, Bhakti, for that. I understand you have such a vibrant energy, but it's all about. I also understand that you are in the spiritual process. You are connected with your spiritual mentor. Today, we are going really want to learn from you. How do you balance the energy between everything? I mean, your mind, body, spirit, and also how do you balance the energy with your professional life and with your family life? It would be really a key takeaway for especially women entrepreneurs.
Okay, so I love this part. I'll tell you why. Because my mentor Sidra Jafri, she has taught me that we have four bodies. It's our physical body, our mental body, our emotional body, and our spiritual body. So not just our physical body or our mental body needs, like you said, how do you balance? So it is all these bodies which need nutrients, which need food. So how do you feed all these bodies? So you feed your physical body by, so how do we feed our physical body? By food. So that's how we feed our physical body. How do you feed your emotional body? You feed your emotional body by having conversations with your friends, by having, say, outings with your family, or intimacy with your partner. All that is feeding your emotional body. How do you feed your mental body? You feed your mental body by, say, intellectualism, by reading books or gaining knowledge, learning. That's how you feed your mental body. And how do you feed your spiritual body? You feed your spiritual body by doing what you absolutely enjoy doing, what you love doing, like, in simple words, what your hobbies are. So that's how you feed your spiritual body. So for me, I'm a big believer of this, and that's how I feed every body of mine. So of course, my physical body, I eat right. I'm very, very, focused and very, what do you say, very particular about what I eat. I follow Rujita Divakar. So, she brings a very holistic, way of how our ancestors used to eat, and know what kind of right eating habits one must have to really follow her and take her guidance in eating right. With my emotional body, I love meeting people, I love meeting my friends, I love having conversations. So I do that. I feed my emotional body like that. I feed my spiritual body by playing badminton. I love the sport of badminton, so I play that with my friends every weekend. And how do I feed my mental bodies? I love learning. I'm a lifelong learner, so I'm into some learning or the other. You will see me somewhere, something, doing something, learning something. So I love doing that. So that's how I feed all my bodies. So
Wow.
that's why I probably
And
keep
thank you
myself
for
going.
sharing that. It's such a wonderful thing to learn. So you told physical, you have to feed your physical body, you have to feed your emotional body, you have to feed your mental body, and you have to feed your spiritual body.
Spiritual body.
Okay, okay, wonderful. So spiritual body is something which you love to do.
Yeah.
Mental body is like any intellectual stuff, right? Watching
Yeah.
a video or reading
Learning,
books.
reading, any of that.
Okay,
Training program.
so this
Yeah.
session can be considered as a feeding the mental body.
Of course,
So,
definitely.
okay, so
Got
and
it.
thank you so much. And then feeding, you said emotional part. So,
Yeah.
even giving gratitude would be part of feeding the
Of course.
emotional body.
Emotional body. Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Or talking to a friend or complimenting someone, connecting with someone. Superb. I mean, this is such a great takeaway. Thank you so much. I feel everyone here, the audience who are here, they are learning so much. Anybody has any questions? Thank you, Sona. Thank you so much. So, all my TTT members have joined the session and they are my soul tribe. I am Madhu, Sona. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi.
Okay. So, we literally learned about the secret behind how do you balance, and I understand now the secret behind your vibrant look, your right attitude, and your amazing smile. So thank you. So but I really want to know, Bhakti, it's now we are seeing all the rosy picture, but
Mhm.
was there a time, a turbulent time in your last 13 years wherein you felt really low? And sometimes, even in my life, I feel like, now stop this, forget about the dream, I don't want to achieve anything, let me be peaceful. And did you ever felt that kind of thought coming in
Of
your
course.
entire so how
Of
did you
course.
handle it?
I think
How did you
I would
bounce
say,
back?
yeah, I would say two distinct experiences. One, I would say the pandemic. I think the month, I think of July or August. I think it was it was a very tough time, for me and even for our team. For what? So I just mentioned that I just shared the experience of how it got so difficult for us because live events were not starting. We were not too sure if the virtual world will work. Though the team was really putting in all the hard work, it was so uncertain. So I think definitely one of my lows was during the pandemic. The second most challenging time I would say is was the year 2012, where my husband Rajiv and my father-in-law both went through a financial, they went through a tough time in their business, in their respective businesses. And when we went through a huge financial crisis, I think that was also, and we had just gotten married. So as a couple, you have this dream of how you would want to start your, married life. But our life went in actually, meeting ends and trying to, make sure that we are stabilizing ourselves. And at that point in time, Dreamcraft was our only source of income. And for me, it's a moment of pride that as Dreamcraft, we were able to sustain our family when it came to the finances, and that was that right that at that point in time our focus was only make sure that we sustain. And I was very clear that at no point in time in my life I would ever want to go out and ask money. It was a very difficult time, financially, and I was very clear. One of my values that don't go out and ask for money to anybody. And I think, like, so for that, that's why I think it's a moment of pride for me to say that Dreamcraft actually supported, and that was our source of income, and we scraped through that time. I think till about 2016, I would say we had we were in that financial turmoil, and then 2016 onwards, I think it just took off. And absolutely grateful for the journey. And I think, yeah, and these are two experiences I would
Did
say
you
which,
did you crafted your own wedding as well?
oh, yes,
Yeah, wow.
that was
So
my dream.
so sweet. I have been attending Rajiv's training a lot, and so he always talks about having a system
Yeah.
for his business, having a system. So, do you really have a system for your family, your personal life as well? Like, this has to work this way, the in-laws has to work this way, or your family has to. So, does it have a system for the best way to run a family as well? Do you
So I
want to
would
share
say
that?
that, so there's something what Blair Singer has taught us this, which is the code of honor, and we have that code of honor as a family. But of course, there are times where there are ups, there are downs, there are arguments, there are silly things that keep happening. But I don't think that it's like any other family, any other relationship.
Yeah, yeah.
Keeping that in mind, we still have a code of honor of, no, this is the way we would. If, for example, if there is an argument, we have a code of honor. Okay, this is the way we would deal with it. No, this is the way we would. No, we at least have that in our awareness. Oh, and of course, it's not like it's there in our awareness all the time. We are probably even fighting like cats and dogs and coming back to them. Hey, let's come back to what we created, and then we would come up to a solution. So it's no perfect way or not, no. I wouldn't say that we are the perfect family doing the perfect things and the most happy-go-lucky relationships. No, I think it's just like how every other relationship is, and we just find our way to make it work, and we just go along and keep learning and growing. So yeah.
Superb, superb, so good. I know, I mean, I really want to know, like, who is your biggest inspiration apart from Rajiv?
I would say that. I think I would say all my teachers. I think all my teachers are my biggest inspiration. My team is my biggest inspiration for for the kind of love that they have, for the clients, for the love they have to to create and craft the event, for the dedication, for their never die attitude. I think my team is my biggest inspiration. My mentors, my teachers, Max Newton, Blair Singer. I have a life coach called Akhilesh Rao. I think he's my biggest inspiration. Like I said, Sidra Jafri. I just mentioned one more, Sidra Jafri, Master Choa. And I would say also, while as masters, they are my biggest inspiration. And I spoke also about my team. I think also um, who inspire me are people. I think people like you, Pooja, Sona. I think for uh, for what their heart is and what the no generally. I think I love people for their good heart and for the right intent to do great stuff. So I think there's this page called Humans of Bombay. I think if you've it's on Facebook. If you've ever come across that, I love reading the stories over there because it's true, authentic stories of humans. So I think people who do great work and people who have a great heart and are doing stuff with the right intent, I think they're an inspiration to me as well.
Awesome. What did you just say? Humans or
Humans of Bombay.
Bombay. Okay, okay. So we'll all connect to that. Thank you so much. One thing which I was actually doing R&D on your videos and everything from the time I connected with you. So there was something which I learned in one of your video was the three E's:
Yeah.
educate, entertain, and engage.
Yes.
So, do you want to throw some light on this because it was quite interesting and quite eye-catching, these three words. So,
Yes,
how?
so this was something which I had spoken, I think, during the lockdown. No, it was one of the interviews where I said that how can we innovate ourselves? Because at that point in time, I think every webinar, every Zoom meeting or every everything online said innovate yourself, innovate yourself. Okay, but how do you innovate yourself? What
Yeah.
can one do? Or what can an entrepreneur do to innovate oneself? And that's when I said, okay, educate. So say for example, what I did with my event management business, because I have the knowledge, I started educating people on how to build a successful event management company. So whatever your craft is, you can go out there and educate people on that. So one is the educate. The other is entertain. So whatever you're good at, no, this was related. The entertain part was related more to the event management industry. So as a DJ or as a no comedian or as an illusionist or no, these are the people who are no in our industry. So based on what your craft is, entertain people. So if that's what you know how to do, then entertain people. No, like if you've ever heard of Danish Seth, Danish really made use of what his talent is, and he's going out there and entertaining people. So that's entertain. And engage with your audience. Let your people know that you are around. Engage with them by doing some activity, creating some show or any of that. Again, based on your craft, based on your business, and that's how I came up with the 3 E's of either you educate, or you entertain, or you engage. Do any of these 3 things with your audience.
Wow. Educate, engage, or entertain. Wow. This is a key takeaway from today's session, guys. So I hope you have noted it down. So we are almost on the end of the session, Bhakti. I have still a lot of questions left, but somehow we have to be on time constraint. So before you leave, I really want to know, how do you keep your success going? Is there any specific habit or routines which you want to share with us, which will help all the entrepreneurs to live their best life?
Okay, so honestly, I would say I don't have any such habit. I think no, we all read in books saying that successful people have no habits,
Yeah.
and I don't have any of those habits, but there are certain things that I love doing, which I keep myself no focused in doing. Is of course one, I love working out, so I work out at least 3 to 4 times a day. I like reading, so I keep myself up with no reading the kind of stuff that I like reading online or book or any of that. I do my meditations no 3 to 4 times a week. So I do that, and yeah, these are few things that I do. My gratitude, I love doing that. So I think that really keeps me grounded, and I really invest a lot of time and thought, in my gratitude, because I remember my mentor Siddharth Jaffe used to always say this: what you appreciate, appreciate.
Appreciate.
So that's why I love doing my gratitude journaling, and I spend a lot of time in doing that. I think, and few activities that I do, or few stuff in the energy world that I do to keep myself grounded and stuff like that. I think that's it. Otherwise, there are no habits or any of that. No, I just do these things which I love doing.
Wow, lovely. Thank you for sharing that with us. So basically, you shared your routine with us, which is like, you said exercising, you said reading, meditation, gratitude, and so is this is something which done consistently is actually makes, or you see some changes in your life, right? It's a
I think
habits of.
I would honestly say, um, do it when you can do it, and do it because you love doing it. Because a lot of times what happens is, because of the mass consciousness that tells us, oh, example, you have to wake up at 5 a.m., you have to do meditation every day, you have to work out every day, and there are so many things that one like that you have to do it. There's no have to. You
Yeah.
do it when you can, and you do what you love doing. If you don't like meditation, don't do it. It's completely fine. Do what, like initially for me, I was not a meditation person. Even now, I don't do it regularly. My kind of meditation would also be having a chat with the universe, or having a chat with my angels, or that's my way of meditation. Or I would somehow just sit in a corner and like do like a proper, the way meditation is done, I would do that. So it really, I would honestly say, and that's what I believe in. I do things that I love doing, and I do things when I can do it, when I want to do. There's no have tos in my life, and I think
Awesome.
that's something, if all of us follow, I think it'll be great. So there's no book,
Wonderful.
yeah,
Yeah,
that you have
it's
to
just
do.
that don't take it as a must have to do it. Be
Yeah,
at
yeah,
peace and be at calm and then do it. Awesome.
yeah.
Sona is asking a question, Bhakti, to you.
Mhm.
Please share
Okay.
that powerful thing that you shared on the GCF stage. Energy is everything and everything is energy. So we'd
Yeah.
love to hear it from you, and it may help people as well.
Okay,
So
so like I said, thank you so much, Sona, for that question. I think, like I said, that no, for me, everything relates and connects with energy, and I honestly, strongly believe that everything is energy, and energy is everything. So whatever you do, say in your business or in your personal life, or in anything that you do, I think always see it from the point of view, of energy. So I think that's something that I do that in every area of my life. I do that even in my, like if you see my events, you'll have everything which is absolutely spick and span, because there's even if a sparkle of dust is seen, that is also energy. So everything connects with energy. So yeah, that's what Sona's asking, that everything is energy and energy is everything, and that's what it is.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you, Sona, for asking that question at the right time before Bhakti leaves. So, so we have last few questions. What has been your greatest achievement personally?
Okay. I think I would say living a holistic life, I think, has been my biggest achievement. Because I think I've always been very, very conscious about not making my business my life, but it is a part of my life. So like how my business journey is a part of my life, I have a lot of other things which helps me live a holistic life. So for me, I love setting goals. So I love setting goals in every area of my life. When I say about eating right, so I have a mentor who teaches me about eating right. In my fitness world, like I have a mentor, I have teachers, I have instructors who help me work out and make sure I work out well. So that's about one part of my holistic living. In my I have a life coach called Ashlesh, so he helps me in keeping my values aligned and keeping giving me perspective that aligns with my values. So that's one thing that keeps me going. So I think living a holistic life has honestly been my biggest achievement. And yeah, and consciously making sure, because of course life is never, it's not all balanced and hunky dory all the time, but being conscious about living holistically, I think that is something which I would say keeps me alive.
Awesome, awesome, fantastic. Thank you for sharing this. The entire session which I conduct is all about living your best life, and it's something like which I do for myself. It's more of a selfish motive which I've started this session because it actually helps me more than it helps others. So, so when I really want to know, so for me, living the best version of yourself is living to your potential and
Yeah.
being authentic, understanding what you really love to do, understanding yourself, creating a relationship with yourself. So every day becoming a best of yours. So I want to know from you before you leave the last advice to people. What is it takes for you living your best life and advice to others to live their better version of themselves every day?
I think for me, living my best life would be based on my values. Because for me, my values are everything. Because I will not compromise if something doesn't resonate with me. I will not compromise no on that. I will do what resonates with me in terms of my values. So I think that's living my best version. Giving is something I'm a great, like, I love giving. So, no, in terms of, so I think that's something which makes me live the best version of myself. I remember, this quote from Angelina Jolie. She had said that in some talk or some speech of hers, she had mentioned that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. So no, giving and being in service. I think that's what my event business also does. Being in service, giving and crafting great experiences for people and impacting their lives is what something that I love doing. I think that's living the best version of myself. And I would also say that living in gratitude. I'm always very grateful for what happens in my life and in my surroundings. So I think, yes, I think this is what I would say would be living the best version of myself. And to everybody else, living the best version of yourself, I would say just do what you love doing, do what resonates with your values, and yeah, make the effort to just be the best for yourself, not in comparison to someone else. So I think always keep
Awesome.
yourself as your benchmark and nobody else.
Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. So it's like comparing it to your performance rather than
Yeah,
comparing it to others.
yeah.
So fantastic. I just can't end the session without talking about the man who is beside you for your success. I will really
Yes,
feel that the session is incomplete. So let's
absolutely.
throw some light over. Every woman entrepreneur has a man beside her. So
Yes.
shed some light over your man, how he
I
has
think,
inspired you for your
oh, of
success.
course. I think Rajiv, like I said earlier, I think Rajiv is my biggest inspiration. He is my biggest support system. And no, we know each other for 19 years now. We met each other when we were 15, 16 year old, and we were friends for, I think, friends 5 years, and no, dated for 6 years. I'm forgetting numbers. I'm very bad at numbers. So we friends for 5 years, dated for 6 years, now married for 8 years. So we've literally, grown up together and grown together as well. So I think also what's really special, what I feel about our journey is that we've literally grown up together, grown together. Our belief systems, our values has actually shaped together. So I think that's really, lovely and special about our journey. And I think patience is his middle name. He's absolutely, very, very patient with me, with people around him, especially with me. I'm a very impatient character, so he's very, very patient with me, and I think he's my biggest support system. I think whatever I say about him will not be enough. Um, and what I love about us is that we are friends first, and then we are husband wife. So I think that's something which, and we complement each other also really well. Know what his strengths are and what my strengths are very distinct, and that's what keeps us going in terms of complementing each other, and we're always there to also challenge each other. So I think that really, helps us in our relationship.
Awesome, fantastic. Thank you so much. And we could see that synergy everywhere. Wherever you guys are, we could see that connect, we could see that energy. Such an inspirational couple you are. Thank you so much for being the part of my life and being the part of this session, sharing all your tips, sharing all the routines, helping everyone to be their best version. Thank you for your presence, Bhakti. It's
Thank
such an
you.
honor for me to spend time with you today here.
Well, thank
Love
you
you
so much,
all.
Nina. I must say that you're doing a great job. I watch your videos. I love what you do. And you said you started this in 2020. It doesn't look like you started this in 2020. It looks like you've been doing that for such a long time. Your confidence and your charisma, I think, is absolutely, what do you say, contagious. So just keep that going.
Thank you so much. You just made my day. Thank you. Words from you means a lot to me. So I'm
Thank
just
you, Nina.
checking if there are no questions. So Sona is saying, love you, Bhakti. Thank you, Leena, for having her. Sharayu is here. Jan. I feel all the coaching mastery people from Pooja's entire Pooja's tribe is here. So thank you, Pooja,
Thank
along with
you guys
Pooja.
for being here.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. Bye bye, Bhakti. Bhakti, last question. If people want to reach out to you for any help, how they will reach out to you?
You can reach out to me on Instagram. I'm super active. Bhakti Sangvi is my handle, and I'm proactive. Interact with people on Instagram very often. So Instagram is the place to reach out to me. I'd love to
I
connect
also
with each and
connected to
every one
you
of you.
through Instagram.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Love you all for joining. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you,
Thank
Bhakti.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Lina. Bye. Thank you, everyone, for being
Bye.
here.